Hey folks, Lachlan here, a South African living with quadriplegic cerebral palsy. South Africa as a country has among the greatest natural biodiversity and the richest mineral resources of any country on the planet. Yet we also have among the highest rates of poverty and unemployment anywhere in the world. Why is this? Because it doesn't seem to make logical sense that this would be the case. Well, there's one primary reason: the communist policies of the ANC. Because for the past 3 decades, the African National Congress has pursued an agenda which puts race above merit, political expedience above what is best for the country, and appearance above reality. And this boils down into everything they do. Take, for example, that the African National Congress recently celebrated the anniversary of its founding. And at one of these events, because they held several over the span of a few days, top ANC members, including our current president, Cyril Ramaphosa, sat on a stage in a stadium cutting a giant cake while their supporters sat below them and watched. And this is a useful metaphor for how the ANC governs South Africa, generally speaking, because we have among the largest sitting parliaments of any country in the world, and they are paid millions of rand every year, to say nothing of the amount of money that they steal through corruption. But nonetheless, they are paid millions of rand every year, and yet cannot seem to find it within themselves even to maintain the most basic civic infrastructure required to run a modern nation and to allow us any hope of competing on the world stage. South Africa does not have reliable electricity. It does not have reliable access to water. It does not have reliable and safe roads because they are not properly maintained. And to this day, people in South Africa are starving, not because there is not enough food for our people, but because much of the money which was intended to be used for feeding schemes for the poor has been pocketed by corrupt comrades. And when the ANC is criticized for all these failures, their standard response is to go back to the old standby of apartheid. Or if they're feeling even more creative than that, they'll blame South Africa's condition in 2026 on colonialism, which is something that our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, did just a few days ago when he claimed that colonialism and apartheid persisted for hundreds of years. So it is unfair to expect the ANC to be able to repair the damage done in 30 years. Basically saying that if you want things to get better, you simply need to keep voting for us. But the fact is that it is the African National Congress itself that is a weight around the neck of ordinary South Africans, because for the past 30 years they have pursued communist policies of racial redress and restorative justice and what they call economic transformation, which includes, by the way, land and asset expropriation without compensation, which the ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula recently said at a press conference are non-negotiable policies of the African National Congress once, in his words, they get their power back, meaning once they are restored to holding a parliamentary majority. The ANC and their members are not concerned with the reality of South African life on the ground because they are wholly consumed by their communist ideology, and it does not matter to them that their ideology is incompatible with reality and that communist policies on a national level have failed everywhere they have been tried, regardless of socioeconomic or cultural differences. Communism fails everywhere, yet, despite constantly being warned by business people and external authorities, the ANC just continues to push these policies even harder because their ego and their very identity is wrapped up in struggle, and they are unwilling or unable to let it go. As always, I hope that you find something of value in my content. Take care of yourselves, be kind to one another, and for now, farewell.